Hello, in this video, I just want to be very brief and ask together, what is a feminist? Obviously, since you can't talk to me, I'm going to talk to you in the camera. What is a feminist? It's really important for you students and for anyone studying anything about women or feminism today to understand that a feminist is someone who cares about what happens to women. And you can interpret that in as many ways as you want. But if you care about what happens to women, if you think women's lives matter, if you think women's reality is an important and legitimate and valuable reality, you are a feminist. So the word feminist has been burdened with a lot of political baggage, and people have talked about the word feminist and feminists as these sort of hardcore political people who hate men or who want the whole of society to be built and ruled by women. Obviously, there are some feminists on that end of the spectrum, right, who really do want to build a more female-centric, female-led society. And, on a lot of days I'm there, right? But on the other end of the spectrum, you are a feminist if you just simply care about what happens to women and not just your own girlfriend, daughter, or wife, but to other women around you. So it is a feminist issue, for example, to think about the services of Planned Parenthood. Of say, if you're against abortion, that's fine. You can be against abortion, but to recognize, for example, that women's health matters, right? That there's other pieces of women's health besides just getting pregnant or getting contraception, right? There are body parts that we have that is part of women's health. And if you care about women's health, you are a feminist. If you care that women can get jobs and still take care of children, you are a feminist. Now, you might be uncomfortable with that term, and if you are, that's fine. I don't expect anybody in the class to necessarily label themselves as feminist, but I want you to recognize that caring about women is a feminist move. So if you don't want to label yourself that way because of the kind of environment you're in or wherever you are in the country, you don't have to. But I hope that a lot of you do want to label yourselves as feminist, and you can decide where on the spectrum you land, from just caring about women to really thinking about how society can be more conducive to women's skills and capacities, how it can be more friendly to what women need to survive and to live. And I would add that when you move in that direction of caring about how society deals with women, you're actually also making a move for children. Because what we find over and over and over again, regardless of what anybody says, children, even if they are in homes that are suboptimal, even if they are with mothers and fathers who are suboptimal parents, children thrive best when they remain with their parents and with their family members, as long as it's a non-violent household where the children are not being abused by, dealing with drug and substance abuse or with physical or sexual violence. And I just say that because what it means is that if you care about women, you're also caring about children. And if you don't want to be a feminist, but you care about children, then you must care about women. And so I just want to put that out there. And this isn't to say that caring about men means you don't care about children or vice versa. But it is and beyond any doubt, fathers in our society also have a lot of struggles. My point is simply that when you move into caring about women, it has exponential benefits. And so that is an argument for why I hope many of you would be willing to take on the label of I am a feminist. And you might have to explain to people in your audience, in your community, what you personally mean by that. So being a feminist in my community at Luther Seminary is definitely very different than being a feminist, you know, in a liberal undergraduate college, or being a feminist, a black feminist in a black church community is going to look different than being a feminist in a white church community. But the lowest common denominator of feminism is that you care about women. And I really hope most of you in this class are going to see the many different ways that you can begin to care about women and care about what happens to women. I want you to watch, and I will have posted in the weekly assignments, a TED Talk by, I can't say her first name, but her last name is Adichie. She's written a really good novel called Americana, and she's an up-and-coming young writer who gives a very good TED Talk on feminism. But for those of you who have studied any kind of feminist thought in any other course, is going to feel like what she's saying is absolutely basic. And when I first listened to her, I was like, golly, this is not really like rocket science when it comes to being a feminist. But what I began to understand is that that's kind of the fact that this woman got given a TED Talk. That's kind of where we are as a society when it comes to feminism. And so listen to her TED Talk. It's in our class assignment. You can find it on the webpage. Decide for yourself how you feel about her talk. But I hope that we can at least all start with where she starts, which is that if you care about women, you're a feminist. Thanks for your attention, and I look forward to your comments.